Yeah, yeah, Brooklyn ends. We back with another one for the youths in them. Yeah, young, brilliant minds, future in sight. Got the power to make change, make the world ignite. Let nobody say you can't achieve your dreams are seeds. So and just watch them grow. But you gotta believe in the youth effect. We're raising up the youth effect. Can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Educate, we get the key, unlock the potential. A lesson every day, knowledge essential. Standing tall, walking proud, let your voice be heard. Unite together as one, spread the love with every word. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Educate, we get the key, unlock the potential. A lesson every day, knowledge essential. Standing tall, walking proud, let your voice be heard. Unite together as one, spread the love with every word. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Create, initiate, push through, no limits. Go ahead and live it up. Respect, positivity, you on your way. Break down walls, build bridges. Yeah.
The Monday of the Youth Effect. I am so sorry about not being present for the past 2 weeks. So much has happened and sick. But you see, my voice is much better today. I can breathe. I am speaking properly today. Better, I hope. And I'm here for you with another interesting episode of the Youth Effect. I am your host, Kathy Robinson, bringing you live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, SBE Radio, wherever you're looking at me from on TDN Network. Great producer of this program. I want to thank them for allowing me the opportunity to be able to bring forth the voices of the young people in terms of advocating with them, on their behalf, and by them. Okay? It's all about them. We are only a conduit to empowering our young people because, as I like to say myself, they are the present, not the future. They're very much here with us, which will come very, very much alive tonight on our program, speaking to cries of our children, teen suicide, our generation is in crisis, beyond the conversation. We're having a lot of talk shows, what it is that we are doing. And we're going to have a conversation with you and I tonight, okay? And our featured guests are our young people who are in crisis. And it leaves so much to wonder about when I listen to how some of us in my generation speak to the young people, about the young people, and we can be so self-righteous and uppity. But let's go down tonight on the reality of what our young people are going through. All right? We are really tackling that serious topic, which is heartbreaking and which is very crucial. We're talking about teen unaliving, politically correct word, because now if you go put suicide online to search for this, they're not giving you anything because it is politically incorrect to use the word suicide. But we're going to use it real, raw, and realistic. That term is becoming very increasing in use to describe the devastating effects and consequences of bullying. And what we're going to bring you tonight is a sextortion on our young people's mental health. So let's dive deep down, not only into this conversation. I don't want this to be a conversation. I want it to be the starting point of putting an action plan in place on what it is that we are going to do about it. Okay? What brought this all about? I'm going to share with you my screen. Give me 1 minute here. I prepared a very nice PowerPoint for you. Let me get it. Oh my goodness. On what it is all about. But it's not coming through for me. Just give me 1 minute. I am so sorry. Okay. I'm going to bring that here. So maybe some of you are just like me. I'm getting my mouse here. Maybe some of you are just like me, that you all have never heard of the term sextortion. Well, I didn't know what it was about myself until I was online and okay, I think there it is. I was online. Let me see if I can share my screen or present. Share screen, share screen. All this technology, let me tell you now. Ay. What's new? What's new? I'm not even seeing my screen here. Windows, entire screen. I think here it is. Share. Okay. Yes, I think I have it right here to share my screen. There we go. There we go. That's it. I hope that's it. Live, yes. Okay, so where did it start for me? 3 weeks ago, I was going through, as I said, and I came across sextortion. I'm like, what is this? Young men are killing themselves, suicide, or unaliving themselves because of a term called sextortion. Let's break it down. Sextortion. Yeah, sex extortion. And that's very much what it is. We're going to come down to what it is. And I have been incensed from the past month for me to bring that topic to us, to be more aware of what exactly is happening to our young people. We stand back as adults and we judge. What could a 16-year-old be going through that they want to consider suicide? They only have to worry about studying, going to school, and getting good grades. Well, you know what? Herein lies the problem. Because not all children were born to be academic. Okay? There are some people, children who are very great have skills with their hands. And I am going to focus a lot on our Caribbean culture, where we put a lot of academic pressure on our young people. Common entrance just passed in our island of Dominica, and CXC is coming up right now. And we're going to focus a lot on the children that get 9-1s. What about that child who did that, who got that pass? And that was the best that they could have done. How do we celebrate that child? Okay? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just rewind the tape a little bit. 2 days ago, I called my niece on Sunday. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Okay. I'm getting into a conversation with my sister, talking to her about the topics I'm going to have and talking about this thing about sextortion. And she says, by the way, there's this young person who died, who committed suicide, alleged suicide, a young person. Did not hear about it, so I went to look for it. So here goes my screen. Here goes my screen. Can I share my screen? I went to look for it on Emo News. My producer, please give me the full screen. Give my screen full screen. Thank you. This is what I saw. The end of the emo heroine is breaking my heart. It says, okay, unconfirmed reports of an alleged suicide at Canefield. That's all. And I went through mostly all 227 comments, though it was breaking my heart at some of these comments, and I just wanted to scream at some people. Okay, just wanted to scream at them. Unconfirmed reports of an alleged suicide at Kinfield. Can you imagine some of the things that are being said in those comments? You can share my screen now, producer. Thank you. You can put me back on. Thank you. And it's about politics. It's about religiosity, not spirituality, religion. It's about politics. It's about blaming the victim. It's about blaming the parents. What about blaming the society? And sometimes these children can come from great parenting families. We do not know what happened. We do not know where the breakdown is. But it breaks my heart that our society and our culture sometimes can stoop so low. It is really disheartening. So I will go on to my next slide. Suicide is a serious public health concern, and it is the third leading cause of death among 15 to 29-year-olds globally. Do you hear that? It is the third leading cause of death globally. I was unable to get specific statistics for our Caribbean, far less for our island, but just one is too much. Lately, this is the fourth male suicide in our country. There is a lot of talk right after it happens, and then it dies down. The talk always is, you can come and talk to me, you can come and talk to me. But if you haven't been a constant in somebody's life, they cannot come and talk to you. Depression doesn't say, I come in to talk to you. It makes people feel like a burden to come and talk. All right? And the young people and the adolescents have their own specific issues going on with them. If there are one population that are weighted with more issues than us as adults, is the adolescent population. Okay? Globally, the average suicide rate for adolescents aged 15 to 19 is estimated to be 7.4 per 100,000. All right, that is according to the WHO mortality database, that is World Health Organization. Suicide rates were higher in males than in females. You have 10.5 in males and 4.1 in females. And this applies to mostly all countries. The male to female ratio is between 2 to 1 and 5 to 1, which means for every 2 male, you have 1 female. For every 5 male, you have 1 female. Can you imagine? 5 male dying to 1. If we look in our small community at home, we already have had 4 deaths to male deaths to no female deaths. Okay? So we can see how it's happening if we look at the island of Dominica. All right? Female adolescents have a higher prevalence of non-fatal suicide attempts. Most times they probably would cut their wrists, slash their wrists, and things like that, And my data was gotten from the National Library of Medicine. Now, this is the face of what we look at. These are the faces of suicide. They look normal because they are normal. They are normal. Normal teenagers, normal children. Now, research from Yale will show us that the rate in children, preteen children who commit suicide as well. But when we talk about high school students, 1 in 5 high school students seriously considered attempting suicide in 2023. That is from the data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, okay? And one of the leading causes of death in adolescents and young adults in the US is growing exponentially, all right? It is growing at an alarming rate. And you say, of course, it's the US, but think of how much the West America has influence over our countries and over our children. TikTok, Instagram. Well, they say Facebook is for old people, so I guess we old. But anyway, Snapchat, all those other chats that we do not know about. There's one that starts with D. I cannot remember. Discord, which is very popular in students, in high school students, or even middle school students as well. Suicide rates among 10 to 24-year-olds increased by 62% from 2007 to 2021. If I put in 62% in perspective, that is 6.2 out of 10. All right? 62 out of 100. Percentages over 100. That is too high. That is too high. And we're talking about them being our future. If they go at that rate, there will be nothing. It will just be a set of old people like us trying to figure out what we're doing for ourselves. So we have to take stock, people. Research released in 2023 by Yale Medicine, found that suicide is rising dramatically in preteens. What's a preteen? Younger than 13. As young as 8 years old, with an 8.2% annual increase from 2008 to 2022. So can you imagine? It's increasing at 8.2% every year. That is 80%. That's 80 out of 100. 8 out of 10 on an annual. Annual means every 12 months. Every 12 months. We have children as young as 8 years old killing themselves, unaliving themselves, committing suicide. How does that ring for us? And we may be sitting back and saying, well, that can never happen to me. I'm a great parent. I do everything right. I check my children's social media. I know what they are doing. I know their friends. I'm a great. Normally, we blame parents, say, oh, it's bad parenting. Parents are not focused on what their children are doing on the internet. So let me give you an example. I consider myself to be a great parent. From the mouth of my children, validated from the mouth of my children, validated also by my village. And I know I will boast and blow my trumpet and my horn. I am and have raised great girls, great girls. And I will boast of that. Great heads on their shoulders, know what they're about. But could they have been also fallen to those situations? Of course. And I thought I did everything right. I'll give you a little backstory. When the younger one was 12, they came to me together. They always teaming up. The other older one was 14. She was not exposed to social media. She had a phone from a long time, but no social media. But the younger ones, you know them, right? The younger ones, the last ones. She came. They came together. They want to make a case to have Snapchat. I'm like, okay, so why do you need Snapchat? Tell me why you want Snapchat. They made their case. I said, okay, now how are you going to be responsible for that? And the thing was, they listed it all. I said, okay, go write a contract. I still have that contract today. They're 24 and soon to be 21. I still have that contract. And in that contract, they said everything, perfect, everything. I will have all the passwords, which I still do up to today. And sometimes I even come in my phone and get the passwords. I have their passwords. I'm a friend on their stuff. I can go in their phone and check it anytime. I would come in, go over their shoulders anytime and watch their stuff. Responsible times. Their phone will not be by them at whatever time in the night. Responsible. And I did it. I said yes on the basis of trust because we have that relationship. We had a conversation about this thing yesterday, and I asked them, if I did not trust you all, do you think you would have felt obligated to do right on the internet? Or did it influence you in some way to do right because you know I'm trusting you? The response was yes. But not that doesn't happen for everybody. Some parents trust their children. They can go everywhere, but then because of the influence from other friends and everything, because let me tell you, peer influence is very strong. Peer influence is very strong. They may have um make another account, or even within the allotted times that they have to use, they are exposed to predators online. And herein we come the reason of where we got to suicide or unaliving themselves. Mental health conditions. Depression, anxiety, substance abuse, behavioral disorders, all those things increase the risk of suicide. You may ask, what does an 8-year-old know about depression? Well, you need to go and sit and talk to a counselor as well about the depression that young people can experience, because when we criticize them unnecessarily at home, that is emotional and mental abuse. When we put unnecessary academic pressures on them, that is emotional and mental abuse. Some children, we do not have. I was looking at a movie about foster care yesterday. We may say, "Oh, we have foster care everywhere." The amount of abuses children are put through, as well. You know, depression is real for young people and children. Depression is real. And a lot of children attempt suicide because they see it through their social media. They listen to it on social media. Okay. There is also family history that can lead to history of mental disorders. But I'm going to focus on the last two, where we have the circle in red. Talks about traumatic experiences where they have been exposed to violence, abuse, or neglect, as well as bullying, social isolation, poor coping skills, and access to other lethal means where they can do it. All right, bullying. Let me tell you, women, girls are the worst set of bullies online. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Girls can abuse worse than boys, especially in isolating their friends online. It's easy, very, very easy. That's a story about mean girls, traumatic events, sextortion, online bullying, abuse, emotional, sexual abuse, social media influencers. Have you heard of the term misogyny? I'm going to direct you. Write that down. There's a British series that's going on right now. It's a British drama, a Netflix limited series called Innocence. Go take a look at it and then message me. Message me, because that family was great, perfect in taking care of their children, providing everything that they need, responsible parents in terms of social networking and the use of the internet. And the 11-year-old killed a classmate because of the misogynistic ideas he was exposed to online. You know what is misogyny? Male domination over females. And it leads to violent talk, nasty talk against women and young girls, and feel they have a right to women. And because she told him no, he killed her. 11 years old. 11 years old. You need to go watch this. In terms of the sextortion, what is happening right now? Let me explain what it is. Financial sextortion. It is a crime that occurs when a predator, or yes, a predator or somebody else, threatens to distribute private material or harm a victim if they don't comply with the predator's financial demands. The scam is the fastest growing cybercrime, targeting children in North America. Not only North America, England is way high up there in England as well too. All right. And most commonly exploits young men, particularly boys ages 13 to 17. You say, why young men? Young men are more vulnerable than women, than young girls. Okay? So if you think we have this cultural thing that boys will be boys, you better start taking care and minding your boys. You better start keeping the boys close to you and under your arm too, just as much as you hold your girls close to you, because boys are just as, even if not even more vulnerable than our girls. And that is why they're vulnerable, because the predators know that most times we let them loose because we figure boys will be boys. And it's the boys who die by suicide within 24 hours of being threatened. 24 hours. Now let me break down what financial sextortion is in basic layman terms. I have to take a breath because it gets me really, really emotional. Financial sextortion. You know, we look at these political, those conspiracy movies of the politicians getting involved with their mistresses, or they going to pick up women, soliciting women, and then there are people who follow them and take pictures, and then they blackmail them. That's it. But instead of doing adults, these people target children online, befriend them. So first they do what they call grooming, very similar to sexual abuse. They groom them. They tell them that they are friends. They send fake pictures. And why they do it to young men? Here's it. Here's the vulnerability. Because young guys want to know that they are liked by the girls, and that they want to know that they are good looking and they are popular too. It happens in girls too. But the boys are really, really more frail. Because you know why too? It's our fault. We tell them big boys don't cry and big boys don't talk. And I was looking at this other video. I was trying to put it on there, but it wasn't going on TikTok. And it says, do you talk to any, it's teen boys. Do you talk to anybody when you are depressed? It's like, no. Why should I? I'm a man. Why should I? Nobody listens. Nobody cares. Because big boys don't cry. Big boys don't talk. We beef things up. Whose fault is that? And the next thing, we want our daughters to be involved with men in relationships who are in touch with their feminine sides. But do we teach them that? We tell babies, 2 years old, oh, don't cry. You're a big boy. Big boys don't cry. Really? Really? Is women alone that like to cry? Well, I know I like to cry plenty, and it's okay. And I want my men to be feminine and to be in touch with their feminine sides because I want them to be able to relate to me. And we have to teach our young men to be able to relate to their feminine sides so they can talk to people when they are hurting. And that is how we protect them. Protect them from falling prey to persons who befriend them through video games. Video games, people. Befriend them through video games. Develop that trust in relationship with them. Make them believe nobody cares about them. That they are all they have. You've heard of young children leaving their homes and going how many miles hitchhiking to meet people they've met on the internet they know nothing about. And we stand back and we judge and say, how they can be so stupid? They're vulnerable and they're young. Children's minds don't fully develop until they're 25. And even at 25, some of them are 50 and you still haven't grown up. We have 50 grown-up children. Age doesn't mean nothing. We can have a 15-year-old who's more mature than a 35-year-old. So when we have young children in the pre-adolescent and adolescent age group who are going to this conflicting time with hormones raging through them, they want to be adult, they want to be a child, they want to be loved, they want to feel belonging, all those conflicting things going on. Today they're up, tomorrow they're down, today they just want to cry about nothing. Oh, what you crying for? You're so stupid. What you crying for? There's nothing to cry about. Why don't we sit down and listen? My children started telling me, listen, Linda, listen. That's another penny I have to put in their job, because every time I talk about them and tell me I have to pay them money. They would have been millionaires by now if I had the money to do that. Listen, Linda, listen. And not only with our ears, with our eyes, observing our children, loving our children, sense of touch, trust, building trust. That is how children can come and talk to you, you know. You think for 340 days of the year, you don't sit down and have relationship or build a relationship with your child. In that one moment they're going through a crisis, you think they're going to be able to come and talk to you? Get real. Get real. They're going to talk to that person on the internet who they met, who befriend them and telling them, I am always there for you. I will always be there for you. This is who they're going to talk to. Share everything with them. And that's what happened to a young boy who I came across where I first came across this sextortion thing. Shared everything. He told him about his parents, his sister, everything. And then in befriending, he sent a nice picture of a girl. And what happened? Asked him to send him a nude picture. And that was it. After that, he was gone. That child was an A student. He was slated to go to college as he was on the soccer team or football team. He had gotten a scholarship, full A student, very social, had a good family, come from a good family, a great sister, good relationship. Things couldn't have been more perfect with this boy. But he fell prey to this picture online. And that person befriending him. And he wanting to be so much belonging. It is typical for young adolescents to want to be in relationship. It's us to guide them, not speak to them or speak at them, where I saw in that the list of comments on the MO News thing. We have to talk to our children. No, you talk to them, they shut down. You talk at them, they shut down. We have to develop a whole new approach. A whole new approach. Okay? Okay, so you say, okay, Kathy, you not talk. What happened to this young guy? What happened to this young guy? The friend asked him, okay, so now I've got you. If you don't send me, you need to send me now $300. Because if you don't send me that money, I'm going to send your pictures to your whole school. I know where you live. And I'm going to tell your parents. That alone is fear. Exposure, embarrassment. So what, you can always come and talk to me. Okay, so when they come and talk to you about the 10% they didn't make to get the 100%, and you criticize them, or all the time you never acknowledge all the work that they did, never acknowledge anything that they did right, you think they're going to come and tell you something that they did, which they knew was wrong, knew the pictures over the internet, when you have spoken to them about internet safety? They're not going to come and talk to you about it. First of all, they're going to think, I'm going to embarrass my parents. I'm going to embarrass myself. Next thing, the child will probably take all the little piggy bank that they have, piggy money there they have, and they send it to that person. And they will fool in saying, okay, if you send it $300, that will be it. No, it wasn't. They started asking for more within a short. So that is pressure and pressure and pressure to get more money. Where is a child getting money? You don't have a job. Unless if you're like some children I know that took their children's credit card and go buy their friends things with it for their friends. But that's not the most case of most children. So without that money to provide to the blackmailer or the extortionist, the young boy said, I'm going to kill myself. You know what was the response? I think that's a good idea. You better go do that. Within 24 hours, his parents are looking for him. Where is he? He hasn't come out of his room. The morning they saw the child, he looked okay. Supposed to have gone to school. Came back, the child is hanging in his room. 24 hours. When they went through his phone and they saw that, let that sit for a minute. 1 minute you have your child. Within a month, the child looked fine. Everything is okay. No signs of anything. And within a space of 24 hours, your child is gone. It's unimaginable. I don't even want to comprehend what parents who have lost a child goes through. I don't want to comprehend what those parents of that child in Canefield back home is going through. All this speculation of it was bullying, or it was this, or it was that. I'm not going to subscribe to speculation until the news come out that this is what it was or this is what it was. I just know that child was in crisis and he could not talk to anybody. That is where the crisis exists. The fact that he felt he had no one in the world and he had no choice but to take his life. People say cowards are the ones who commit suicide. Try it. And then you come back and tell me who is the coward. Go ahead. Try it. You prick yourself and you scream in pain. All of you men afraid of injection. Yeah. A coward doesn't commit suicide. They pretend they commit suicide, maybe after they commit a murder, and they pretend they're going to commit suicide to get the sympathy. They're committing no suicide. Someone who commits suicide is at the end of everything, that at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, that they are so consumed by everything that's going on with them that the only answer is ending it. And they step into that last journey in extreme pain, unbelievable pain. So don't come and tell me, oh, just don't get me wrong. As I say, I put a disclaimer on TDN Network. This is Kathy Robinson's point of view. If you were never there for me, you were never there for my son. And my son died. Don't come and tell me God knows best. Keep your mouth shut if you do not know what to say to somebody who's in pain. If you do not know what to say, just go and give a hug. You don't have to say anything. You do not have to say anything. Okay? This extortion thing carries across to Great Britain, where that same thing happened to a young boy. And you know where the investigation carried to? Nigeria. They launch an investigation and a whole investigation and a watch and follow the people and all the cyber security, cyber stuff. And in collaboration with the Nigeria authorities, and they caught 27 people in a scam. That was happening right from Nigeria, telling that child, go kill yourself. I read some about it today in Côte d'Ivoire. You may say, oh, it's all in Africa, but no. We have it right in the US and we have it right in the Caribbean, because all these things happening on the dark web, They're coming right in our living room. People are coming right into the safety of our homes through the internet to snatch our children from us. Talk about a thief in the night. Sit down and sit with that for a minute. And while you're sitting with that, we're going to go to a break to our sponsors. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay. Let me tell some. Let me tell my producer we're taking a break, because sometimes when I'm doing these screen things, he doesn't hear me. He doesn't see, technical issues. But really, really, people, think about it. Okay? Just think about it. Sextortion, all the way across the sea, taking our children away from us because they sent a nude picture and they're being threatened for more money, which they do not have. They threaten they will kill their families. They will come kill their mom. They'll come kill their sisters. They know what school they go to. Because the boy felt that he was confiding in someone who cared about him. Someone who cared about him. So what does caring look like? All of us adults who think we know what's best for the children. Tell me, what does caring look like? Remember, you're looking at the Youth Effect on TDN Network. I am Kathy Robinson. I am your host. And we're speaking tonight on our children in crisis, on teen suicide, on going beyond the conversation. Going beyond the conversation. So while we're on break, I would really, really wish that we have an interacting audience. And if you're not interacting tonight, it's fine. When you look at the replay, we will have the replay on my Facebook Live as well as on the Youth Effect page, or on TDN YouTube as well, and TDN Facebook. Look at it and send your comments. Or send your comments to 767 the Youth Effect at gmail.com. 767 the Youth Effect at gmail. Sorry, the Youth Effect 767 at gmail.com. I forget it. I'm so passionate about what I'm talking about that I forget my old email address. The Youth Effect 767 at gmail.com. Remember, we're talking about teen suicide, the things that lead to teen suicide. We're talking about bullying and sextortion and traumatic events that teenagers go through, that they see no way out but to take their own lives. Take their own lives. Cowards don't do things like that. How brave can our young children be? How brave can our young children be? We have to take a different stance on how we treat our children, or how we approach parenting. You don't have to birth a child to be a parent, yes? I grew up in the age where a village raised a child. I know we live in a very individualistic society now, and whenever a stranger corrects somebody's child, they say, don't say anything to my child, but it's not what you say. It's how we say it. I'm very much on that journey still, to watch how I say things. Tone, giving compassion and grace to people, and kindness in the way that I say things. I can be very blunt, direct, and not very nice. The other day, he told me I ugly the way I was talking. Say, look at you look so ugly, because, and I hear I'm saying, oh, I'm passionate when I'm talking about things. You know, you're ugly. It comes off ugly. And that hit different. How do we look when we speak to our young people? Do we come out as ugly? How do you look? Meditate on that for a minute. We're going to our sponsors and we go to break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey y'all, I just discovered an amazing plugin called Joan, Jock on Air Now, for managing my radio station's on-air schedule. It keeps your visitors updated on what's playing and when their favorite hosts are live. Trust me, Joan is the best choice for your WordPress site. There's a free version available in the WordPress repository and it's definitely worth trying. If you want even more features, Joan Premium lets you easily edit your schedule with just a click. No need to delete and re-add shows. Don't miss out on Joan. Get it now from the WordPress plugins repository or visit the developers at gndenterprisesinc.com for more info.
A smart house run by a vengeful AI, a mute witness to an act of unspeakable evil. A breadfruit thief is haunted. A young man unwittingly creates a god. Giant crapos terrorize a community. A witch seeks revenge on her neighbors, and much more. The Piton Noir Writing Collective is thrilled to announce the release of the third book in their acclaimed anthology series, The Flying Crapo. Flying Crapo, Heroes and Monsters. Now available for purchase on Amazon.com. Get your copy today and embark on a journey filled with heroes, monsters, and the magic of the Caribbean.
Did it sit with you? Did it sit with you? Should we recap? Just getting my notes here. So let's recap. Teen suicide, a crisis of what that our children are heading into. What could be the reasoning? There are so many things. It could be family, mental illness, genetically brought down, abuse, traumas faced by the children. But tonight we're focusing on two things: bullying, sextortion. A lot of it is online, a lot of it can be in person. The sextortion basically is also very much online. We're talking about exposure to children on the internet, making friends through video games, through friends like Snapchat and Instagram, and getting to their DMs, direct messaging, okay? And if children do not want to get off, sometimes it could be a telling sign that we need to find some way to distract them, to get them to do other things. All right? My screen not working, so now I have to use my phone as my talking point. I am so sorry. So I'm looking down. In terms of, now we're coming to, when we talk about sextortion, I've given you examples on children who have died, and the alarming rate at which young men are dying to unaliving themselves, to suicide because of sextortion. The alarming rate of even 8-year-olds down to 8 to 25-year-olds are taking their lives. The alarming proportion of young men to women, 5 to 1, 5 men to 1 woman, young children to 1 girl who tend to commit suicide because the pressure and the trauma that they feel, and it doesn't have to do with mental health. They could be in perfect health, but because of that one picture that they take, and a lot of our young children believe it's okay to be naked. It's okay. Everybody is doing it. That's where peer pressure comes in. Everybody is doing it. So there's nothing wrong with me taking a naked picture. They do not understand when you put something on the internet, it doesn't go away. I was trying to say it in Creole, but Ipali. Yes, Ipali. It's there. It's there. It's not going anywhere, people. Okay? It's not going anywhere. It is sad. The pressures put on our young people, academic expectations. So what we're going to, the second part, beyond conversation? What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? I'll see what extortion is again. A form of exploitation where individuals are coerced into sharing explicit content can lead to extreme emotional distress in our children, reputation damage, and financial loss. And they also think that they're going to lose their families because they think they might kill their families. I might kill your mother. I will kill. They can't do nothing. But a child, remember a child, when they hear about death, they're thinking, that's what I'm putting my family in. Social media platforms, influencers promoting all these things, and online content. As I said, games and things like that too. All right. So I think you get the idea. I think I summarized the first part. People, don't take this lightly, please. Please, please, please. Go do your own research if you think I'm lying. All right? By the end of the night, according to USA Online, I'll give you my thing just now. I'll put up my presentation again just now. According to USA Online, there is at least 30, there have been 30 young men already so far for the year who have committed suicide because of sextortion. And that's just the news on USA. Look at Britain, look at other news. Just look up sextortion, SEXTORTION. And of course, bullying. In my conversation, so what do it is that we do? In my conversation with my daughters yesterday, a strong point Ashley made, but there is not enough visibility of internet safety. Oh, yes, they are. We have little 1 or 2 courses. That should be pounded in the children's heads. They should be hearing it in their sleep. In school, it should be a school course. If you're teaching IT, all close schools now have IT. There should be at least a weekly course on internet safety. And the teachers themselves should always be updated, continuing education on trappings of predators out there, because they always find a way. There's always something that's going to come up. So we have to be kept up to date of things that's going on. Internet safety, don't take it lightly. Sit down, have the conversation with your children. The age of 8 is not too young right now to talk to the children about sex. Hypocrite, you're hypocrite if you don't want to talk to your children about sex. Talk to them about the birds and the bees. Okay? Because if you don't know to tell them, somebody has already told them, or somebody has already touched them. And because you don't want to say anything to them, they're afraid to come and talk to you about it. There is always an appropriate age method to use to talk to your children about everything and anything. But you have to develop that relationship. You cannot be an authoritarian parent and expect them to come and talk to you. And neither should you be a very permissive parent to just let them loose to do whatever it is that they want to do. You have to find a balance. We're always busy running 2-3 jobs, chasing the money. Let me tell you something. When we lose our children, yes, they're gone. We can never, or we should never be too busy to sit down and listen. People, listen. According to my girls, listen, Linda, listen. I'm pleading to you. Find a way to listen and I have a picture my girlfriend Avril gave me when we were abroad. That picture is, that thing is like 20 years old. I am, no, younger than that. I was 20, in my early 20s when she gave that to me. All right? With an African woman with a big padlock, clipping her lips together. And it's posted around my, above my desk because, you know, I like to talk. So I have to put something there to remind me to keep my mouth shut. Sometimes it runs away with me. But I'm learning. Age brings wisdom, they say. Let us listen. Listen to our young people. Stop saying we're going to talk to them or push religion down their throats. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you not to bring your children to God. Don't misunderstand what I am saying. There are children who willingly accept spirituality and a savior. Religion is something else. Doctrine is something else. Teach your children to have a relationship. If God for us is a man, and we say he's a loving father would not give his child a stone, right? He listens. What do we do in prayer? We go to prayer on our knees and we pray to God because we expect him to listen to us. Zoe, listen. And when we are listening, our mouths are shut. There is something called attentive listening. You listen to understand, not listen to respond. Don't start trying to create an answer in your head before you hear what the child has to say. Listen. And don't ask the child a direct question when you already know the answer. Somebody comes to tell you what happened. So what happened to you at school today in a haughty way? For the child, what are they going to tell you? Nothing. Let me tell you now, the first time I had my period, my mother asked me, so what happened to you at school today? Because I went by Auntie Pasto for to go back. I know she's going to run it will have real, so she can run by Auntie Pasto. And Auntie Pasto can tell my mother. Can you imagine? That's the wrong thing to do. Mommy asks me, what happened to you at school today? I said, nothing. Nothing. And I went to parents differently. Don't get me wrong, my mother is a great mother, the best that she could do. But every generation has to learn from the last. We haven't got to use that excuse anymore. That's how I was raised. That's an excuse of failure. That's an excuse of not doing your best. You know better, you do better. And we need to do better by our children. And now is the time for action. Stop the talk. Our children are hurting people. Our children are in pain. Pain. For women who have been in labor, sometimes we forget because as soon as the child comes out, no more pain. We can spend 15 hours in labor. As soon as that bag comes out, the joy and tears of a new baby on our chest. God willing that we do have a healthy birth. And the pain of those mothers who lose a baby. A child can be 50 years old, is still a person's baby. Fathers, if you lose a child at 13, at 16, at 17, and you see them on the verge of promise and opportunity, potential, ripe, to use the terms of labor, you say, you're just in labor, in pains to give birth to this thing that they have to give to the world. That promise, that budding flower, poof, like smoke. There was something I had written above my bed. One of the lines I always remembered is, we are as ephemeral as the grass. Here today, gone tomorrow. No matter how much gold toilets you have, or gold figurines you have in your house, red blood flows through all our veins and all of us go to the toilet. The same color and same stuff go down there. And all of us use, no matter you use $1,000 toilet paper roll and I use a 50-cent one, is the same job. You have a Rolex and I have a $10 watch, it's the same time. None of us are better than each other. So sit down and talk to your child. No matter how much money you're running after, your child is supposed to be that investment. This is why you had a child. Or was it? Now that leads us into a whole different conversation about eugenics that I learned about too yesterday in that conversations with my children. If you do not want to invest in your child and take care of a child, don't go and have kids. Because a child is a lifetime investment. You're tied to them. You can get divorced. You can even leave your family, you decide you're abandoning your parents. But when you have a child, you're tied. That umbilical cord, it may be physically done, but it's still there. You made an investment in that child to have a child. Invest your time, invest your space, invest the little money you have. Let me tell you something now. We know about the widow's mite, right? You know how much a child would appreciate just an ice cream, knowing that you made a sacrifice to give them just an ice cream, than to give them a whole big video game or to give them $500 sneakers, and you don't spend a quality 5 minutes with them. Put ourselves in perspective. What is our priority? Children are people too. They have rights. They have feelings. And remember, between the age of foundational years up to 7 years old, or even 5, what they learned within those times, that's where they're going to go with that. Take your time to form your children and to mold them, to build trust, because that's when they're going to come and tell you, Mommy, I have something to tell you. You can do like my daughter. Put off the lights in the dark and turn my back and talk. I don't need to see you. Tell me what happened. The conversation that you need to have is, no matter whatever you think that you may have done wrong, there is nothing, absolutely nothing under this heaven or on this earth that's going to make me be angry enough at you to isolate you. That's going to make me hate you. That's going to make me kill you. But if you don't tell me everything that's going on with you, I cannot have your back. And I need to have your back because I'm the only one that's going to have your back. Your friends are not going to be there. I am the one that's going to have your back. So come to me. But let me tell you something. Trust is both ways. Huh? So don't do that. Say what I do and not as I do as I say, not as I do. You have to lead by example. So if you want them to trust you, you have to be able to speak the truth to them. They have to hear you say the truth at all times, because children develop themselves through observation of their surroundings. They observe you to the T. Don't be fooled. You think children stupid, they're not. Sit down and listen to them talk for one. You hear what Jesus said from the mouth of babes. So if you are a Christian or whoever Jesus is for you, from the mouth of babes, listen to him. Our children are hurting. I'm going to share the rest of my thing with regards to that. What we can do other than sitting down, listening, and building a relationship of trust. And for some of us, it's hard, I know, because we believe we are the main man or we are the woman. And who is it that I should have to bow down to my child? I grew up very rebellious in a certain way. Say, you happy? Yes, I used to be. Right? My father and I used to be chua-choo with my father. And one day he came to me and he says, "Oh, you always have an answer for me. I don't think I need to give." I was 18 years old. We was having a certain situation. "I don't owe a child an explanation. But however, I will explain something to you so you understand and put everything more in context." That's all he needed to do for me. That put everything in perspective for me. And I made a lot of life-changing decisions, internal wise, based on that one conversation with my father in the gardens on a weekday, in the evening after school. You're not too man to talk to your children or listen to what your children have to say and to give them an explanation. As I said, I'm not saying I was the best parent, but I did a damn good job. And there's one thing I always did. Whenever I told my children something, I told them why. So in the absence of me, they have their reasoning why to do something, not because mommy just said so. They have the rationalization of why they shouldn't do it. And what I thank God every day for of my children, yes, you're gonna listen to me and talk about my girls, is God has blessed them with the discernment of wisdom at their age to learn from my mistakes and not have to repeat it. We sit down a lot of times, have 2-3 hours of conversations every day after work, after school. Most days we sit down, we talk, we chat, we laugh, and I tease them too. But that's another thing. Develop a relationship with your girls, your children, because that's the only way they're going to develop trust, to be able to know that in the midst of fear or in the lion's den, that you will shut those lions for them. You shut the mouths of the lions. And they know they can come to you on anything, with anything, and you're going to have their back. You're going to have their back. Let's go to my share screen. Okay, here's my share screen. Let me see where my producer is to put it up on my screen for me. Okay. On the right side there, I will just speak to it until my producer gets to it. Let me see if I can message him here. Oh, here he is. He's the best. Let me tell you about Sam. Eh? Thank you, Sam. Okay. As we're coming down to the last of the end of our programming here. And as I say, this is just about a conversation and raising awareness and protecting and increasing the visibility of internet safety for our children. It's a conversation that we have to have our children at any age, because all children have the phones. And we're giving our 8-year-olds $8,000 smartphones. And they know how to use it better than us. So don't be fooled. You need to teach yourself. You need to let them teach you. A lot of the stuff my children teach me how to use the phones and where to get the information. So counseling people. If you think you do not know how to do it, to talk to your children, there are different ways we can go about it. Have a positive mindset. Speak positive to your children. Stop criticizing. When you're talking about things, stop putting out negative things in the universe. Don't say a thing that we say, like I just said it, don't say. Say, do say. We like to say, don't forget. Say, remember to. Put positive things into them. Have a wonderful day. I love you. They come home. How was your day? Oh, it wasn't very good, you know. I did a 90 and I felt I should get a 95. Hey, but did you do your best? Great stuff. High five. Validate your children so that they wouldn't need to validation from a stranger online. Well, you cannot be the chick, so they will always want a little chick, I would say. So sit down and talk to them about boy-girl relationships and teach them no. It's okay to hear no, because when boys don't hear no, not are used to hearing no, they get angry and they commit murder, which is what you will see in the movie Innocence. All right? Teach them it's no is okay. So if a girl reject them, like, hey, there is so much more fishes in the sea, and better than that is your loss. Let me go on, boy. You're not seeing this, your loss. Teach your boys pride in self and to keep their head high and to be able to come home and cry to you. I like this girl, because nowadays in grade 3, they're talking about chica. They're talking about girlfriend and boyfriend in grade 3 or grade 2. I like this girl, but she embarrassed me in school. It's okay. It's okay to cry. Cry it out. Yeah, I understand. It's really painful. Compassion. Be empathetic with your children. Learn how to be empathetic with your children. The same way you're going to comfort a friend across the road, you might leave your family at 10 o'clock in the night to go and comfort a friend. Your child is in your home crying of lost friendships and relationships. Or losing likes online, because the amount of likes they get on their social media is the world to them. Did you know that? Go find out. Ask them about it. It's like having money in the bank. That's their capital. Likes. You need to have a very strong family support base. I was talking to my aunt on the way home today. That's one of the things I love, going to work with her. And we can come back together in the evenings. And I was just telling her, oh my God, Auntie, I do not know, but I have such a supportive family. Let me tell you something. I'm not just saying that. That is not reality TV where you put things, effects on Instagram and TikTok and have the highlight life on there, and behind the scenes you're miserable. My family is the best. Period. In everything. I cannot say one time in my life I did not feel supported by my family. And you'll figure like right now, I'm getting old, I should be independent. We like to say, oh, I'm independent, I don't need nobody. Well, I need them. Right now in my life, more than ever. And they're right there underneath me. My siblings are the best. And I will boast them. Kurt, Karen, Cindy, Dee, and Samantha, Ashes, Tony. Let me tell you about my siblings. Go boast about yours. My aunties, the Pears, and I have some Robinson family, close to all of them. But let me tell you about my family. Family support, that is the village. But let me tell you, family doesn't have to be blood, You create your life the way you need to live it, and you create that family that you need to help support you, that give you those wings to float, to fly. Develop that in the best interest of yourself and your children, to carry them. Because again, too, you have to be observant, because the closest place for abuse is in the family. So in everything, we have to be alert. When you see my children were small and we went out as a family and their father gave somebody a ride, I get in out, let the man go at the front and at the back seat with my children. You crazy? No, boy. It can be family, it can be close person. No, that's okay. In the back seat too. No man sitting on the back seat with my children. Not my babies. You're a madman. Or go and hug an uncle. I know I strain a little bit, but let me just say, we're talking about parenting and building trust and protecting our children. Or go and hug a grandfather, an uncle that they never met before, even an aunt. No. They are people too. Children are sensitive. Children are angels. They feel energy. Let me tell you something about energy. They feel energy. Do not force your babies and your children to hug people they do not know, because no is no. That is part of teaching your children boundaries. So they want to say they're fresh. Yes, they're fresh. Leave them like that for me, please. She said no, no is no. But she's a baby. She knows what she wants. No is no, no. And I never forced my children to hug or kiss nobody until they were at the age where they were able to do it themselves. No. Not doing that. Protect your children. Develop a relationship with your children. Build trust in your children. So if you force your children to do or hug somebody that they never met before, look at the analogy or the parallels there. And then after you're going to tell them, don't talk to strangers or don't meet strangers online. What hypocrisy. When you just force them to hug strangers when they were younger, people they never knew in their life, and you tell them, oh, that is my great-great-grand auntie. And so what? People that deserve hugs are people who have relationship with your family and relationship with your children. And being in relationship is different to having a relationship. There's a difference, people. The children need to have a good peer support. Do not force friends on children because you want to be friends with the children's friends' parents, or it's a good look. That poor child you do not want them to have a relationship with might be one of the most integrity and values that are benefiting of building up the character in your children. Look beyond. Do not judge people by what you see. Get to know people before you judge them. Have a very good, strong social support for children. Okay? And in everything, all right? Find a place where the children can get to your resources. In Dominica, Sister Tina Alexander have been very, very, very active in Lifeline. And her number is 767-317-3030. People, take down those numbers. Your children may be crying out for help. Please, I beg you, listen. Listen. Even that's the only good thing, give them the benefit of the doubt. When a child tells you they're going to commit suicide, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. If friends reaching out to you to beg your help, it's not a joke. Or they do not know what they want. They're just saying that for attention. Well, you know what? Better be safe than sorry. Children can be manipulative too. I'm not saying no. Children can be very manipulative, especially by using tactics that they've learned on the internet. But better be safe than sorry. Call Sister Tina. 767-317-3030. There's also Dr. Wallace in Dominica. I don't have a number there. Dr. Nadia Wallace. She was my therapist. Very good. Very, very, very good. She may be overwhelmed because we don't have many psychiatrists in Dominica, but we have new people coming and go, there's this guy. We have people that you can go talk to. And there's online, if you do your research for free online services in New York, there is NewYorkCity.gov, there is Talkspace.com, where are free online videos and texts. There's a 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You know, there's bestonlinetherapyservices.com. All of these therapeutic things for children in crisis and family in crisis for teens are available. And that is just a few that I've written on there. You can go do your research and find a whole more list of resources. On the support side for you as parents, I can come in here. I'm not a therapist, but soon to be a nationally board certified coach for youth, for children and adolescent coach, as well as going into parenting, coaching. Okay? Using art therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to help the young people to be able to develop coping mechanisms. I don't deal with the trauma, dealing with coping mechanisms. With trauma, you go to a psychiatrist. But helping you as a parent be able to decipher what may be happening to you. How do you parent your child to provide the support for your child? How do you develop that relationship that your child need to become that person they are inside, to blossom into that beautiful being? How do I become that? Remember, my email address for here is, excuse me, the youth effect 767@gmail.com. If you need any help with that, I'll give that email address there for now. Just not to confuse anybody. Okay? But my other email would be coachk.getawayholistics@gmail.com. So that will be coachk.getawayholistics@gmail.com. All right? You can send me a message. I can also give you, I got on your phone, so let me give you the number here. So cancel. Please take your children seriously. All right? You could also get me at 929-803-6356. That's 929-803-6356. And my Getaway Holistics is all about well-being and wellness, focusing on youth as well, youth coaching, all the way to helping them through adolescence, all right? Dealing with coping mechanisms, parenting as well, parenting coaching. How do we deal with this? How do we deal with our children in crisis? Adolescence and preteen is not an easy thing for our young children to go through. So stop putting pressure on them to tell them that you do not know what you're talking about. Let me tell you something. Some of my best decisions have come out from listening to my children, because some of the things, the words they have said, as I said, from the mouth of babes. Sometimes I sit down and I listen to my older daughters and I'm like, I've always tell her, you miss your calling. You should be a psychiatrist. I always tell her that. The thing is, she get peopled out. She can't deal with that. Listen to our children. Listen to your children, people, please. And even though somebody is not your child and they come to listen, have some level of empathy and compassion for our young people. That is when they'll be able to talk to you. Not looking down your nose and figure, I am the adult here. You are the adult here in age. They're probably wiser than you in maturity. So check yourself. Sit down and let us do some level of self-reflection. Who were you when you were their age? Who was I when I was that age? Huh? Who was I? I'm sorry, what did I just do? This was a very impassioned thing for me tonight. Let me tell you now, that has been on my chest for a good 4 to 6 weeks. A good 4 to 6 weeks. And then when I heard of this suicide of this child, God, I can't imagine what the parents will be going through. So beyond conversation, let us start on ourselves. With having a little bit more an opening ear, a listening ear, attentive listening. Remember, we're listening to understand, not to shoot our mouths. Padlock it. Listen to understand instead of listening to respond. And if you don't understand, say, that's what I am hearing you say. Is that what you meant? Because sometimes we hear something and that's not what they want to say. Is that what you meant? And listen without judgment. So what you find here at Getaway Holistics with me is non-judgmental and total confidentiality. You tell me something today and tomorrow I forget what you said. It's not my business. You need somebody to throw something against a wall. That's me. Because everybody has the answers within them of what you want to do. And I'm here to give you answers. I don't tell you what to do as a coach. I don't tell you what to do. You already know what you want to do. You already know the answers. All I do is facilitate pulling it out from you, helping you, guiding you to create your own action plan. I have nothing to say. It's not me to give approval or to validate or to give you permission. That's not my job. That's your job. That's on you. I'm just your journey associate. That's all I am. Holding your hand and helping you go through. Because sometimes we feel stuck. We do not know what to do or who to turn to. But put a plan in action to start listening to your kids, because our kids are on a collision course and we're going to lose them. You see the rate, 62% of our young men are dying to suicide. And that's not mental health issues. That's bullying and sextortion. And so, well, yes, bullying can lead to mental health issues. Yes, it leads to depression. It leads to depression and everything else. So people are saying, what does a 16-year-old have in the world that they could possibly want to kill themselves? Have you ever been depressed and cannot get out of bed? But then you have a parent forcing you to get out and to go to school, and you know you're going to walk through that school door and you have that person there that's going to bully you. How many of us have been bullied at work? Imagine a child who is not yet emotionally developed and have to deal with something like that. And most times the bullying is not one person, it's a gang. And they isolate the children. Feel of you being isolated at work, isolated from your friends. Some of you in abusive relationships and your partner has isolated you. Tell me about it. Then tell me what a child has that they have to be depressed. Anxiety, eating disorders, all those things come down from that. But the sextortion, there is no symptoms. Perfectly happy children, and in a matter of 24 hours, gone. So please, I'm pleading to you today, please. I'm pleading to you. Listen to your children. Listen to your nieces. Be a mentor for your niece, your godchild, your nephew, your neighbor's son. Show some level of compassion, not to be so judgmental. I see we are 10 o'clock. So I want to thank you for really spending your hour and a half with me tonight, speaking on the crisis that our children are presently in, the danger that is in their face. And all they need is a listening ear, a hug, and some level of assurance that you're protected. We talk about being protected with all the faith we're talking about, or being in the hands of our Father. Well, for children, faith is not by sight, right? It's the unseen. Well, children do not understand that concept. It's tangibility. They have to touch it to understand it. It has to be in relationship with for them to understand it. So that faith you're talking about, let's break it down in understanding terms to the children. That is how you are going to be a true Christian, or bring down your spirituality to them. Faith in action, words in action. That is what our children need to see. That's what they need to hear. That's what they need to know from their hearts. And that's what I'm going to leave you tonight. Whitney Houston said, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. No. The children are here now with us and we are losing them. Love them well and lead the way in love for them and with them. And together, let's create that village of support that they need. But first, they need to know that we love them unconditionally, non-judgmental, and that will be there for them. Oh my God. You know when I sneeze, what to call? And it's not coming. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's be there for our children tonight, people. I'm Kathy Robinson. And on this note, let's just love, 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 love. And let's put love in action. Say, what does love look like for our children? Remember you heard it on the Youth Effect tonight on the 2nd of June, 2025. Go there and love and have some kindness, compassion, and kindness to our young people. Making sure that you know that we are there for them, with them, supporting them, holding their back. Always. I love you so much. Thank you for spending your precious Monday night with me and our audience, wherever you are at, whether you're looking at us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or you're with us in Canada on SBE Radio. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate you. See you next week for another wonderful edition, again, episode of The Youth Effect. Thank you so much to my producer, Sam, who is just absolutely awesome with me every week. And to you, the audience, see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Adios. Cheers. Go out in love. Peace. Good night.
Got the power to make change, make the world ignite. Let nobody say you can't achieve. Your dreams are seeds, sow and just watch them grow. But you gotta believe in the youth effect. We're raising up the youth effect. Can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Educate, we get the key, unlock the potential. A lesson every day, knowledge essential. Standing tall, walking proud, let your voice be heard. Unite together as one, spread the love with every word. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Educate, we get the key, unlock the potential. A lesson every day, knowledge essential. Standing tall, walking proud, let your voice be heard. Unite together as one, spread the love with every word. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Create, initiate, push through, no limits. Go ahead and live it up. Respect, positivity, you on your way. Break down walls.